అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఈరోజు సుందరయ్య విజ్ఞాన కేంద్రం నిర్వహిస్తున్నటువంటి వెబినార్ పెళ్లి వయస్సు పెంపులో ఉన్న మతలబు ఏమిటి అనేటువంటి అంశం మీద ఈ వెబినార్. ఇటీవల మనం చూసాము, కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం మహిళల పెళ్లి వయసును 18 నుంచి 21కి పెంచుతూ ఒక బిల్లు తీసుకొచ్చింది. ఆ బిల్లును పార్లమెంట్లో ప్రవేశపెట్టకముందే దేశవ్యాప్తంగా నిరసనలు వ్యక్తమయ్యాయి. దాంతో బిల్లును సెలెక్ట్ కమిటీకి రెఫర్ చేశారు. ఏమైనా ఈ బిల్లు పూర్వాపరాలు ఏంటి, ఇందులో ఉన్నటువంటి మతలబు ఏంటి అనేటువంటిది మనం తెలుసుకోవటం అవసరము. ప్రభుత్వం ఏం చెప్తుందంటే, ఈ వివాహ వయస్సు పెంచడం వల్ల మార్టాలిటీ రేట్ అంటే శిశు మరణాల సంఖ్య తగ్గుతుంది, అందుకోసమనే తగ్గించడం కోసం మేము వివాహ వయస్సు పెంచుతున్నాము అని చెప్పారు. అయితే అన్ని అంశాల్లో 18నే ప్రామాణికంగా మైనారిటీ తీరినట్లుగా భావిస్తారు. చట్ట సంబంధమైనటువంటి అన్ని విషయాల్లో 18 దాటితే ఆమె మైనారిటీ తీరిపోయింది అని చెప్పేసి భావిస్తారు. 18 తర్వాత ఓటింగ్ రైట్ ఉంటుంది. 18 తర్వాత ఏదైనా నేరం చేస్తే ఆమెకు బాలబాలికల చట్టం కింద శిక్షించరు. కనుక ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. వాటన్నిటిని అట్లా ఉంచి శిశు మరణాల రేటు తగ్గించడానికి మేము పెంచుతున్నాము వివాహ వయస్సు అనేది నమ్మశక్యంగా లేదు. శిశు మరణాల రేటు సంగతి వస్తే, అది తగ్గించాలంటే ఇందులో ముఖ్యంగా స్త్రీలకి విద్య అనేటువంటిది ఉండాలి. అదేవిధంగా వాళ్ళకి ఒక కమ్యూనిటీ హెల్త్ అనేటువంటిది బాగా ఉండాలి, ఆరోగ్య వసతులు ఉండాలి. అటువంటివి ఏమీ లేకుండా విద్యకు దూరంగా ఉంచి ఆరోగ్య వసతులకు దూరంగా ఉంచినటువంటి సందర్భంలోనే మార్టాలిటీ రేటు పెరుగుతుంది. దీంతోపాటు ప్రసూతి అనేటువంటిది ఒక సంస్థాగతంగా జరగడానికి, అంటే ఇళ్లలోనే ప్రసూతి జరపటం కాకుండా ఒక ఆసుపత్రికి వచ్చి ప్రసూతి చేయించుకోవటం అనేటువంటి దాన్ని ప్రమోట్ చేయాలి. దాన్ని ప్రమోట్ చేయడంతో పాటు అటువంటి సౌకర్యాలు ఏర్పాటు చేయాలి. అందరికీ దగ్గరగా ఉండేటట్టుగా అటువంటి సౌకర్యాలు మారుమూల ప్రాంతాలకు కూడా, గుట్టల్లో గట్లలో నివసించేటువంటి వాళ్ళకు కూడా దగ్గర ఉండే విధంగా అటువంటి సౌకర్యాలు ఏర్పాటు చేయాలి. ప్రసూతి సౌకర్యాలు సంస్థాగతమైనటువంటి అటువంటివి ఏమీ లేకుండా వాటిలోనేమో చాలా వెనుకబాటుతనం ఇంకా భారతదేశంలో కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది. వాటిని అభివృద్ధి చేయకుండా ఈ విధంగా మ్యారేజ్ వయస్సును పెంచటం వల్ల ఇది స్త్రీలకు నష్టం జరుగుతుంది. 18 తర్వాత తాను ఎవరిని పెళ్లి చేసుకోవాలో ఎంపిక చేసుకునేటువంటి అవకాశం దీనివల్ల లేకుండా ఏర్పడుతుంది అన్నమాట. అందుకని అసలు ఈ మొత్తం వ్యవహారం వెనుక ఉన్నటువంటిది ఏంటి, ఎందుకు కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం పెంచదలిచింది, ఇట్లా పెంచితే దానివల్ల వచ్చేటువంటి నష్టాలు ఏమిటి అనేటువంటి విషయాన్ని ఈరోజు చర్చించడానికే ఈ వెబినార్ ఏర్పాటు చేశాము. ఇందులో వక్తగా ఐద్వా ఆల్ ఇండియా ప్రధాన కార్యదర్శి కామ్రేడ్ మరియం ధావళే మాట్లాడతారు. ఆమె ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడతారు. ఆమె స్పీచ్ని షమీనా అఫ్రోజ్ గారు తెలుగులోకి అనువదిస్తారు. Comrade, now I request you to start your speech.
I thank Sundaraya Vignan Kendra and all the comrades, Comrade Vinay Kumar and everybody for arranging a discussion on this extremely important and very widely discussed topic today. And there are a lot of confusion and a lot of misunderstandings also regarding this issue. So I really welcome the initiative taken by Sundaraya Vignan for this discussion. Right at the outset, I would like to make it absolutely clear that the All India Democratic Women's Association, as well as the women's movement as a whole in India, has always advocated, has always held campaigns amongst the most toiling sections of people, amongst the women, that girls should be given an opportunity to study further. There should not be early marriages, and we should encourage girls to pursue their own life aspirations. So please be clear that the women's movement and the AIDWA has always taken this initiative amongst women, explaining to them and also convincing them to allow their daughters and children to study much more and not go into early marriages. So when the women's organization is very, very clear that having good education and having financial independence, these are extremely primary requirements, basic requirements for a woman to lead life with dignity and self-respect. So then, what is this proposal of the government of raising the age of marriage from 18 to 21? Does this fulfill the basic requirements needed? Will this really help in allowing women to fulfill their own aspirations? And why is it that the women's movement and AIDWA has opposed this stand of the government of raising the age from 18 to 21 for the marriage of girls? This bill has been introduced in the parliament and now it is with the standing committee. So what are the fears? What are the objections? And why we are raising that? Now, what are the fears that we have? You see, it is not only the women's movement or the AIDWA. I'll come to the fears a little later. It was also the Law Commission in 2008 that had recommended that the minimum age for boys and girls for marriage should be 18, not 21. The commission had noted at that time when it gave this report, it had said that the age difference between the husband and the wife has no basis in law, as the spouses entering into marriage, they are actually equal in the eyes of law. They should be equal, and their partnership is also treated as equal. In fact, Indian Majority Act 1875 also is equal for men and women. Now, such a thing is there. There is no basis to have a differentiation. At the age of 18, you find that every citizen can vote. A citizen becomes an adult at the age of 18. It can enter into contracts, it can own property, it can have, the citizen can have his or her own bank account. When all these factors are there, the Law Commission had recommended that the minimum age of marriage should be 18, as it is the most natural thing to do. So this change in the law from 18 to from 21 to 18 to 21. Now, what is the meaning of this? This is, we clearly feel, infringing on an aspect of life which is going to affect the decision of a person for you being of a citizen of India. Now, we fear that it will impact on the autonomy of the woman to take the decision. Not only that, this law, by raising the age, is not anyway addressing the concerns that has been raised by the Jaitley committee when actually bringing about this bill. They talk of malnutrition and having proper health. They talked about education, and because of that they have taken this decision, making raising of age without addressing the reasons of malnutrition and illiteracy amongst women and girl children is just a way of misleading the people. That is a typical kind of a jumla baj of the Modi government, not addressing the issue but giving a slogan that sounds popular but in effect does not solve the problem. Now, when we talk of nutrition, just understand, if a girl child is malnutrition right from birth, a majority of Indian women are anemic. A child who is malnutrition right from birth, getting married at 21 instead of 18, does it really mean that her health situation is going to dramatically improve between ages of 18 and 21 if her economic, social conditions remain the same? That will not happen. Secondly, the entire ICDS, that is the Child Development Services Scheme, the ICDS, the Anganwadi scheme, the government has been continuously slashing the allocations for that scheme. We have been continuously asking for enhancing the nutrition in the ICDS, but that is not happening. Secondly, the required daily quota of calories and proteins, the mother does not get. Now, in many of the places, the maternity benefit of rupees 6,000 according to the National Food Security Act, that is also not given to all women. Thirdly, you see the entire two-child norm that the government has introduced. We are also not for women having too many children. Please mind you, we are clear about that. We are saying early childbirth a woman must not undergo. Too many children also should not be there because it impacts on the health of the woman. But the point over here is that it is not the woman who decides in our country as to when, how many children she will have. So this two-child norm that has been ultimately, even the maternity benefit does not go to the woman. Firstly, is because she gets debarred under many kind of conditions, and secondly, because of this two-child norm. Yeah. So I do not want to go to divert the issue, make it an issue of hunger and that. But the reality is there that even the 2021 Global Hunger Report has recently highlighted the deplorable conditions of food security and nutrition in India. That whenever there's a crisis of food, it's the one who eats less. Now, the government has not at all addressed this issue. You see, today, on 1st of September, the Food Corporation of India had a stock. I said that the 2021 Hunger Report has stated the deplorable conditions of food security and nutrition in India. The Modi government is refusing to see this acute hunger. A large section of the people go, we know it is the way, and the girl who grows more. The Food Corporation of India has an excess stock of food grains. but these excess of food grains are not being released to feed the poor. How is the health of the and poor citizens become? And the world large hungry are in India today. That is now one part of the whole nutrition problem. We really feel like this, that because of rising age, then girls will have a chance to get educated. Now, you see, who are the children who are left out of the educational sphere? It is poverty is the biggest obstacle today. All surveys, everything, nationally, internationally, if you see, it says that children dropout rate amongst girl children is the highest, and dropout rate and not going to school is basically because of poverty and non-availability of proper educational facilities. Now, in the pandemic itself, give most recent example have shown that lack of children from the marginalized section have thrown out from the educational system, and amongst them a majority are girls. Now, instead of addressing this, like the aid has consistently taken up campaigns in various states. One reason is the non-availability of phone, the private schools or in the aided schools, not the government schools, the aided schools and private schools, the children who were going there were being asked to pay entire year fees or entire 2 years fees, which they could not. We have consistently sent memorandums to the concerned to intervene in this matter. Only where the women's movement has been strong enough to bring some pressure on the authorities, the fees have been either reduced or given it allowed to be given in installments. But in most of the places, the children who could not pay the fees have gone back home and out of the education institution. And if there is a girl and a boy in the house, then it's the girl back. Some way or the other managed to let the boy study. In such a situation, the government is implementing an education policy which talks directly of privatizing education, which will further throw girls out of the educational sphere, make education more expensive. Now, all these factors are not being addressed. Without addressing this, the children who are not being able to today, who need the most, why you raise the marriage age from 18 to 21? A child who has not been able to go to school, has not been able to complete her education because of poverty, because of non-availability of proper schools nearby, because of non-availability of hostels, that child is not going to anyway be able to complete her education. So this is a false image. It's a mirage. It's trying to take all in the country be complete because to the age of 18. The truth is that girls, it not all the age of girls is 18. It does not mean that all the girls in the country are being forced to get married at the age of 18. That's not the truth. So this is what the government is trying to camouflage, hide its own dereliction of its owners in trying to provide education to the children, especially girls. Now we come to the point as to the women's organization that I was talking about right in the beginning. What is the truth behind this kind of a law? The government to the now, on one hand, on the other hand, and women's organizations have said that the age of marriage for boys and girls, you make it same, because both of them become adults at the age of 18. Now, it is for them. I make it clear again over here that women's movement has not advocated early marriages. Yet, why are we opposing this? Because this law will interfere in the private life of a citizen. If a young boy and girl, they fall in love and want to get married at the age of 20, this law will criminalize their relationship. And the impact of it will be that if a boy happens to be maybe 21, or even if he is 20, but if he's wanting to get married to that girl, or if they do get married, the boy will go to jail under the section of rape. This is what is going to happen. That means, far from empowering women, a patriarchal will be enacted on the right of a woman to make her own choice. It will criminalize consensual relationships. Already we see that when the increased from 16 to 8, a lot of young boys are going to jail. Consensual relationship, and the are cases of rape on the body. Now, one more thing I will make clear. There will be many people, and there are many people, who think that one should not have a relationship at certain age. But the truth is that young people do go into relationships. That is the reality. Now, whether you may agree or you may not agree with it, that's a democratic right to have an outing. But that does not mean that you will agree to criminalize a consensual relationship just because you do not agree that somebody so young should have a relationship. This is totally undemocratic. So this Manovar government has been consistently infringing on the personal private lives of Indian citizens. You start right from population control policies. The two-child norm that has been imposed, it has impacted in a much more instead of safe family planning facilities for women. Instead of doing that, instead of allowing them to make their own choice, instead of encouraging a democratic situation within families whereby a can make of when and where have a where all that is not being done either through our education system, neither through government propaganda, nothing. Two-child norm is has been implemented. Secondly, you see all these different laws regarding marriage, laws, intercaste, interreligious marriages. trying to interfere into a marriage ceremony if it is an interreligious or intercaste marriage. So at every single stage, slowly, this Manuvadi BJP RSS government has been infringing the rights of personal right decision in your own life, to marry, where to live, what to eat, what to wear. So it has, and this is a part of that attack. You will send the children of the poorer, marginalized sections, of the minority sections, whom they want to target continuously, and also young boys and girls who choose to get married below the age 21, a consensual marriage where the girl says that I have done so with my own free will. I am an adult. Even the courts cannot send the girl back to the mother's house after the age of 18, even after the parents complain that our girl has been taken away forcibly, etc. And if the girl stands up and says that I have gone off my own free will with this particular man, she cannot be forced to go back to a mother's house. Now, in situation so contradictory that the government is bringing in this law, and that is why we are totally opposed to it. Now I come to the last point. Having said all this, what is the reality actually today? There are reports, official reports, various studies, that teenage marriage in India have come down by 51% since the year 2000. Now, this was achieved without enforcing any kind of law raising the minimum age of marriage for women. The mean age, the average age of marriage in India, the 2019 report of the Ministry of Statistics has said that the mean age of marriage in India has increased to 22.1. Now, when this is a situation, those who are by some chance getting married early, as what you called as child marriages, early marriage, there are ways. There is a Child Marriage Restriction Act already in India. There are ways of trying to overcome this problem. And the basic thing is the provision of economic and educational facilities. Financial independence of a woman is the basic necessity for empowering her. Educational facilities, education chances as to allow her to take forward her own aspirations is absolutely necessary for her to make her capable of taking a decision. Now, these things, once they are provided, automatically we have seen that when a woman is able to educate, employed, get married early. There's one more argument, which is a fallacy, that children at a young age, if they get married, there is a likelihood of them making a wrong choice. Friends, wrong choices can be made any point of time in life. We have seen number of marriages who may be, according to us, our standards, mature people who are 25 years, 30 years, or maybe 2 years, they are mature, and in our understanding, a child between 18 and 21 is immature. That is our understanding. It could not match with the understanding of the child who's taking that decision, or an adult, not a child after 18, of an adult taking the decision. But don't marriages be about 21, 22, 25, don't they break up? Don't at that time, don't people realize that they may have made a wrong choice? It does happen. So there is nothing like saying, there's no measurement over here that that at this particular age only you make a wrong choice, and above that you don't. That is totally false. So when the mean age of marriage, average age of marriage is anyway increasing, and has anyway increased to 22.1, when teenage marriages in India are anyway coming down, those who are getting married early need to be provided with the economic and educational facilities to make them capable of married early. And that is ADWA and the women's opposite this law, which is going to criminalize consensual relationships and put young boys in jail. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. So, okay, there are no questions. Only thing is, people appreciated this program and they appreciated the translation also. So, with this, we can conclude this webinar. I thank you, both of you. I thank both of you for taking pains for the webinar. Karnataka has withdrew egg from the midday meal scheme. It also affects the girls who are going to school. Boys and girls also it affects. But one way they are increasing the age limit, on the other they are cutting egg and nutritious food from the midday meal scheme. Why government is doing this?
That's precisely the point that we are making. That's precisely the point we are making. That the government is just wanting to target a particular section of the people instead of trying to provide the things that will help girls to be able to take their decision, not get married early. Instead of doing that, the government is precisely doing the opposite by trying to raise the age of marriage, and then we'll put all those children in jail, all adults in jail, who will take the decision to get married at 21. So the question, the person who's asked the question is basically answered the question also.
Okay. The Sundaraya Vijnana Kendram holds medical camps regularly in interior places and also in Hyderabad city. Mostly we find women anemic. So there are, sometimes it is only hemoglobin level is 2%. Sometimes it is 3%. We have to rush them to the hospital from the medical camp. So that is the situation. We find this in Adivasi areas and also in Hyderabad slums. So that is the situation. Instead of improving the situation, these sort of decisions are taking place. Decisions are being taken.
Absolutely correct.
ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని మనం తర్వాత యూట్యూబ్ లో కూడా పెడతాము. ఎస్వికే వెబినార్ అని కొడితే మీకు యూట్యూబ్ లో కూడా 2-3 రోజుల తర్వాత ఈ ప్రోగ్రాము అందుబాటులోకి వస్తుంది. ఈ కార్యక్రమంలో పాల్గొన్నందుకు అందరికీ, వీక్షకులకు అందరికీ నమస్కారం చెప్తూ ముగి